You're listening to the Andrew Carter Morning Show on News Talk Radio, CJAD 800.
Dr. Stephen Shaw, professor in the Department of Educational and Counselling Psychology at McGill, is on the line. He's an expert in education. How you doing, Dr. Shaw?
Good. How are you?
Good. I wanted to ask you today about, I know we were going to talk about, we'll talk a little bit about getting students back into the routine, but this is the time of year when students, especially at the college or university level, are trying to figure out, what they want to do with the rest of their academic career, and they might be miserable with the program that they're in. How do you know when it's just school that you hate, and it's your program that you hate, or your school that you hate? You know what I mean?
Oh, that's a tough one. Let's see. Well, I think the best ways to make those types of decisions are when actually things are going well. In other words, you have a successful assignment, you do something that is interesting to you, and it still gives you no joy. We all have problems when we fail an assignment or don't get things done on time. That stuff happens, and you just need to ride it out. But if something good happens, you do well on a quiz, you have a good interaction with a professor, and it still gives you no joy, that's probably the best time to start thinking about maybe making a shift in your priorities or your directions.
Okay, so when kids are making a decision about what to do post-secondary, it's sort of the knee-jerk reaction to say, I'm going to go into something that's going to make me some money. Is that the wrong way of thinking?
Well, that's always a very personal thing, but I think it is, because the way modern economy works is that people will change jobs and change careers many times over their lifetime. So to stick into one narrow area simply because it makes money is certainly not something that's going to bring you long-term joy, given that job is probably going to be temporary in modern society. People don't work at the same job for 30 years and retire anymore. So it should be the type of work and the type of training that in general you can enjoy. It can be flexible so you can move on. But the very narrowly specific, financially oriented goals probably will not lead to a lot of long-term happiness.
A lot of programs in the arts, I imagine, it almost doesn't matter what you take, since you end up not. I mean, my son has a degree in Irish studies, and he doesn't do a lot of Irish studying. He's in sales now.
Mm-hmm. Well, there's nothing wrong with universities are not trade schools.
Yeah.
The purpose is to get this well-rounded education that you can do a lot of things. And so whatever a well-educated person has is wonderful for many jobs, including sales or public relations or a whole host of things. But being a good educated person is really a fine goal in and of itself.
Okay, I want to ask you, is it hard for, talking to high school and elementary students now, is it hard to get back into the routine after the holidays?
Oh, it's really hard. If classes started yesterday, you probably have some very grouchy children today because simply they're not on their same sleep schedule, their same eating schedule, the same routine. And Monday probably came as a big shock to a lot of kids who are now extraordinarily sleep deprived. So, yes, I'm sure this is a very hard week for people who went back to school on Monday.
So how do you, what are some ways you can help your kids ease their way back into the routine?
Well, for those who haven't started yet, the weekend before classes start, you want to begin to get them on a routine, because especially adolescents, they've probably been sleeping till noon, staying up very late at night, and that school can become quite a shock. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday before school starts is a good way to go. For those already started, it becomes a challenge because they have no choice now. They have to get up at the same time. So this weekend may be a good weekend to catch up on sleep, because sleep is going to be your number one priority, because that's probably what gets fouled up more than anything else on these long holidays.
Sleeping, is that what you do now, sleep until noon? When was the last time you slept until noon?
I can't remember.
Yeah.
Probably when I was in college.
Those were the days. Those were the days. Dr. Shaw, thanks very much.
All right, thank you.
Dr. Stephen Shaw, professor in the Department of Educational and Counselling Psychology at McGill University.